Oh, I just lost my agenda. I need a second computer.
Thank you, Chair.
Good to go? Yeah. Okay. I am going to reopen the regular PVIS meeting, and we're on item number 4. Rise and report from close. We have none. Delegations later, so we're going to go right to the consent agenda number 6. Would anybody like to pull anything out from the consent agenda? Seeing none, moved as presented.
Move this presented, Chair.
Seconded by Director
I'll
Matt.
second it.
Motion carries. Number 7, any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none. Staff reports. We're on 8.1. Office of the CAO verbal update. Ms. Helmer.
Did we miss 6.1 and 6.2?
That was part of the consent agenda.
Oh, sorry. I thought, okay.
Did you want to pull anything out?
No. I thought that I'm getting ahead of myself. Thanks.
Okay, so Ms. Helmer, verbal update.
Thank you, Chair. Nothing today.
Thank you. Ms. Gilmore, anything from the Village of Pemberton?
No, I don't have anything today either. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, we're on to 8.3, information report, recreation third quarter update.
I'll let Ms. Burns in, Chair.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Burns. It's good to see you again so soon. And,
Well, thank you for having me. I just need to text Emma so she knows I'm in, so she can come up.
Starting with the rec third quarter though, right?
Yeah, just to save time, she's going to sit outside and then I can just welcome her in for the next report. But thank you very much, Mary Richmond and directors. It's nice to see everyone again. The first report I'm presenting today is the third quarter review for recreation. I like to think that it's a robust report in the sense that we've been very busy since July 1st. So everything in here is what has happened from July 1st to the end of September, so September 30th. I think I'm most proud of the fact that we continue to offer group fitness programs all summer long. We had a total of 33 classes, which resulted in 432 unique visits, which is pretty fantastic for summer operations. It's typically a time of year in which things slow down for fitness programs inside because everyone picks up on their outdoor recreation opportunities. We had minimal seniors and youth programming throughout the summer as we were still transitioning through the restart plan and realistically just kind of trying to plan on how to get seniors and youth back into our spaces. So we're hoping to see an increase in use for the fourth quarter. I'm also pretty proud of our fitness center visits. We had 3,388 unique visits to the fitness center this third quarter, which is wonderful. It did feel kind of busy, which was nice. And as I am sure you're aware, we've had multiple modifications to how we've been operating since July 1st, because July 1st is when the step 3 of the provincial restart plan kicked in, which kind of opened the floodgates for recreation. However, we very mindfully took our time because a lot of that required increasing staffing as well on top of everything. So we very cautiously opened the doors. We increased capacity gradually throughout the summer. We had a closure in the middle of July because we received new fitness equipment. So we modified operations after that. And then we continued to modify. And then on August 24th, there was a provincial announcement that put the face covering order back into play inside public facilities, as well as they introduced the proof of vaccination process, which was to begin on September 13th. So I think that kind of sent us all into a little bit of a flurry, but at the same time, we were kind of ready for it. So that was nice. We did, as you are aware, I think we increased our outdoor booking component this summer. So we adopted the village's park use permit process, as well as our own outdoor booking process. And so bookings in general, we had 93 different agreements during this time frame, which was 587 sessions and 2,636 hours of use in all of our recreation spaces, which I think is actually a great number for us to work on for next year for sure. We were quite busy throughout the summer, indoors and outdoors. I think as well during the third quarter, we had some staffing recruitment occurring. So we recruited for a new facility coordinator, maintenance coordinator for a term position in lieu of Adam Malkus moving over to a Fire Smart position with the village, as well as a new customer service coordinator position. So most of the summer was spent relatively short-staffed while we recruited. And we were very fortunate to find 2 fantastic applicants that began towards the end of the third quarter. I think that realistically is the highlights, I think, for recreation for the third quarter. And I'd love to open it up to questions.
Thank you so much again. Director Zahn and I had the good fortune of hearing a third quarter report just a few days ago. Is there any questions from Directors Mack or Kennett?
No, I'm fine with this. It's very good. Thank you.
Director Kennett?
Yeah, I just felt it was, as you said, Christine, more robust than I had anticipated it to be. So obviously our community is growing and the need is there, and keep up the good work. I hope you have a good fall and over the December period. And
Thank you. Okay, if there are no more comments, could I get a motion to receive the third quarter report, please? Moved by
I'll move that.
second by Director Kennett. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Burns. We could bring in Ms. Gillis.
Yes, one moment, please.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gillis. It's a deja vu. I'll turn it over to you to talk about the good news to the committee.
Yes, thank you. The purpose of our next report is I would like to give Emma the majority of the credits. This was a process that began shortly after I started in 2020. So I think it was in June. Just before the end of June last year, Emma's like, hey, I have an opportunity to apply for this grant. And I'm like, okay. And so we put together some rough numbers literally overnight. And she applied for an Enabling Accessibility Fund grant through the Government of Canada. And initially the grant was denied. So we kind of both completely forgot about it. And then in August, she received notice that they found more money and they gave the public library $100,000 to increase accessibility at the Pemberton and District Community Center. So this kind of falls in line with the 2018 Rick Hansen Foundation accessibility audit that was done on the building. And their recommendations at that time were to increase accessibility on the south side of the facility. And so that led us into recognize, and then obviously COVID happened. And as a result of COVID, that changed how we were operating the facility completely. And it became even more obvious that we needed to increase accessibility on the south end, so the road facing side of the facility. So we're in the process of looking at making the exterior doors to the building accessible, the interior doors to the library accessible, the fire exit of the library accessible, as well as looking at putting a ramp access up the front of the building. And then I think in the discussions and the comments of the report, we kind of cover that off. But I'd love to turn it over to Emma for a moment and she can give a little more feedback. And you're open, we can answer any questions you may have.
I think you've done a great summary. The only thing I would add is just consistently over the years, we've noticed that during fire evacuations or any kind of evacuation, it's been really challenging with our fire exit being on the south side of the building. There are a number of stairs to navigate, and as RNE would have it, we typically always have either seniors or parents with toddlers, and trying to navigate those steps during an evacuation, particularly in poor weather, has been challenging. And generally all of the fire drills have always happened when it's either raining or snowing. So it was good to really test the weakness of that being our main fire escape. So that was one of the real driving factors behind applying for this grant. But then obviously with COVID and just the challenges of accessing the facility, to be able to have another external access point for the library would be really, really helpful for us to continue to provide service. And yet even just this morning, I was having a conversation with one of our seniors, and she was actually complaining how hard it is to get to the library right now. So I told her the wonderful news, and yeah, I think anything we can do to really just improve access to the facility is a bonus. And if you have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you both. Any questions, comments? Dr. Mack.
No, I just want to say congratulations to both of you for pursuing this and sticking with it and getting it. So this will be a great addition to the building. Thank you.
Thanks, Russell.
Dr. Kennett.
I just want to thank you girls for accessing Rick Hansen's foundation a few years ago, because this community, it's kind of dear to my heart, the Rick Hansen Foundation, because our company and my husband and I have raised over probably $80,000 and donated to the Rick Hansen Foundation. And it's so wonderful that we're still continuing to see the benefits of that through the federal government. So I just wanted to comment on that. And we're not able to do a fundraiser for Rick Hansen in the last few years because we've been too busy, but and it got away on us, and we sort of probably need to hire some kind of planner now to do those kind of small fundraisers that we used to do. But I just want to thank you guys for doing this. It's so important. to keep accessibility in all our public buildings. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think if I can just add to that as well, with the the new law that's going to be coming in with accessibility, this gives us a jump start on many of those requirements as well. So it's been quite well timed.
Yeah, we're both very excited about it. Accessibility is something I believe in from many facets of life, from financially accessible to physically accessible. So it's very exciting. We're pretty excited about this one.
Awesome. Well, great work. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I please get a motion to receive 8.4?
Motion to receive.
Second by
Second.
Representative. Opposed, motion carries. Thanks again. Great work. Have a great day. See you.
Good to see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
So next up, we have 8.5, but that's should come after our delegation, should it not? Yeah. So we'll bump that till after the delegation at 2:15, and we'll go right into 8.6, which is the Pemberton TV and radio report. Go ahead.
Chair, if I can, before Ms. Campbell starts, I'd like to admit Ms. LaFrance as well, since she was a part of the background information for the service.
Sure, you bet. And Ms. Campbell, you're presenting on this?
If that's the wish of the committee, I can definitely do a quick overview of this report.
Yeah, if you could hit the tops of the waves, that would be great, please.
Not a problem. Just wait to see that Director LaFrance is in. There she is. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Philippa Campbell. I'm the Project and Research Coordinator for Squamish-Lillooet Region District. Before you today is an information report regarding the Pemberton television and radio service. This is an update on what is needed to maintain the capabilities of the TV and radio service, which, as has come before this committee before, the society is no longer able to continue to operate it. So this report, it's summarizing the information that we have to date. So there's an overview of the service, the two sites and the infrastructure that are included in the service, licensing requirements for the television and radio portions, some information on the bylaw, current requisition, taxpayer impact. We've also included an infrastructure review, which was conducted in 2020 by a third-party contractor. And this is at the request of the society. And we have information on the quote that arose from that infrastructure review that addresses the items that were identified in that review. Now, there are still some items outstanding, which we need to do a full assessment as per the committee's request. And this includes a list of assets at each site and the quote for dismantling and disposing of these sites, which would address the budget implication part of the resolution the committee has put forward. Now, these items have been actioned by the society and a local contractor, or they are being organised. We don't have an update on those at this time. The hill site access is by helicopter only, so the weather in recent weeks may have had an impact on whether that assessment was able to happen. Staff are following up with the society to see where those items are at this time. So the summary has an initial list of items that need to be considered for maintaining that service and a list of the items that are still outstanding. We've put together an initial analysis which outlines items that will need to be considered once that information is received. So I appreciate this isn't a complete report, but we did feel it was good to bring it forward as an update on the work being done towards this request. And once we receive that additional information, we'll be able to provide a better analysis of the costs involved in keeping versus dismantling the service and the impact to the taxpayer. So that's a brief overview of what's in the report. Happy to answer any questions. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you so much. And so that information will be forthcoming to staff and then to the committee. When do you think, or can you remind me that? Are we going to be in advance of budget season?
I've been following up with the society at this time. They had hoped to get the information together for the end of the last month. However, it hasn't been forwarded as yet, so I just don't have an update on it. Certainly, as soon as we can get that information together, we will bring it to the committee.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Any questions? Seeing no questions, can I get a motion to receive the report?
Motion to receive report, please.
Seconded by.
Second that.
Discussed. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much, Ms. Campbell. Okay, that brings us to 8.7, Pemberton Local Transit Feasibility Study. On that, just wait till we do staff adjustments. Are we bringing anybody in? We're all good? Good afternoon, Mr. Lawyer. So before we get into it, I have a question for the committee, or comment / question. Upon having read the report now, there's a lot of information in here that affects our third partner in the transit system, and there's a lot of important conversation to be had around it. And I feel like this report should be referred to the Transit Committee, where Director Mack and myself and Lillooet Nation, as well as staff, sit on that committee, and we'll be able to sort of have a conversation as a group. I just am very leery about having a deep conversation about this report without our third partner present, out of respect for them and out of the intention to have a good conversation about it. So that's sort of my thought on that. I'd like to see it referred to staff of both member and partner members, and then a transit committee meeting set up as soon as possible so that we could discuss it there, would be my thoughts on this. So I'll open that thought to the rest of the committee. Go ahead, Director Mack. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had already mentioned that to CEO Helmer. The three of us have to be in the room together talking about this. So I would suggest that is the correct way to go. Thanks.
Thank you. Would you like to make a motion to refer this to the Transit Committee?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Seconded by Director Zant. Any further discussion? And that includes obviously forwarding the report to staff beforehand of each community. I'll call the question. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we have a little bit of time here. I actually, thank you, Mr. Lawyer, for joining us.
No, thank you, Director. That's actually what we were looking for too, I think.
There you go. You just got gained a whole bunch of time in your afternoon.
Okay.
I thought for some reason I had a standing item for chair's report, which I don't. So I'm wondering maybe if I could bring it up as late business. I just want to talk about next PVIS meeting schedule. So Ms. Helmer, how do you want me to do that? I'm hoping there'll be a motion to just slightly change the schedule for the next meeting. Can I introduce it as late business, or how would you like me to do that?
Yes, you can, Chair. You'd have to give us the title of your description, and you'd have to have a two-thirds majority vote to add that item as a late item, and then it could be considered as item 10.1.
Perfect, thank you. So I would like to have the committee consider for a late item of business, a discussion around the meeting time for our next PVIS meeting on December 9th.
I'll make that motion.
There. Mac, any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll go on to 10.1, late business. I don't know, Director Mack, if you've seen the email or not yet, but we have another meeting scheduled the morning of December 9th. That'll go till about probably to about 1:30. So I was hoping that we could move the start time for PEVIS to 2 o'clock to accommodate both Director Mack and myself.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
So is that, can I maybe get, is everybody okay with that?
Hmm?
With the-
That's fine with me.
It's fine here.
To that effect, to move the December 9th previous meeting to 2 p.m. start time, please.
Make that motion.
Seconded by Director Kennett. Any opposed? Motion carries. So that leaves just our delegation and the follow-up conversation, which is 8.5. Delegations at 2:15. So we'll recess the meeting until 2:15. When we come back, Director Zant, you will be chairing, and I will be absent for the rest of the meeting.
Sounds good.
Not all good, Ms. Helmer? Does that work? Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody.
Yes, it does. Thanks, Chair.
Go back at 2:15 on this feed, and I'll see the rest of you soon.
Thank you.
just so you know, Chair, we're still live and our delegation is in the waiting room whenever you're ready to call the meeting back to order.
Okay, thank you. We'll just wait for Russell to come back and then, yeah, we'll get going. Will we need a motion just to reopen the meeting? Just unsure about the procedural side. No? Okay. Thank you, Kristen. Great. All right, if everybody's ready, we'll call the meeting back to order and let our delegation in, please.
Thank you, Chair. She'll be with us in a second.
Hello, Sarah. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. We're just anxiously waiting for your report on the request for the Pemberton Children Care Society Annual Christmas Bazaar. So go ahead.
Wonderful. I'm excited. Are we doing the slides as well?
That'd be great.
Wonderful. Thank you to the PIVIS committee for having me today. As you heard, my name is Sarah. I'm a member of the board of directors of the Pemberton Childcare Society and a volunteer organizer of the Pemberton Christmas Bazaar. And I'm here to present our Pemberton District Initiative Fund application for the Pemberton Christmas Bazaar run by the Pemberton Children's Centre. New slide, please. I'll just begin by explaining that this is an amazing event. It has a really positive impact on our community and our surrounding communities. It's been a part of our Pemberton community for a long time now, and it's grown into the popular event that it is today, as I'm sure most of you know. But for those of you who don't, it's a holiday market that brings together the local and surrounding communities. It's our artists, artisans, entrepreneurs, small businesses, all in the one place during the holiday season. And this allows us an opportunity to shop local and to meet and engage with our local vendors and to fundraise. So I'll attract people from the local and extended community. It has nearly 50 registered vendors, including local businesses, artists, clubs and societies that are also using it as a platform to fundraise. And these include the Pemberton Children's Centre, Hawker, Pemberton Dance Studio, Rotary Club, Lions Club, and possibly the Arts Council. And the event will attract possibly hundreds of patrons on the day. Next slide, please. So here's an outline of our budget. Currently, we are operating at a loss. But this year has been unique. Usually we'd have more time to prepare, but due to public health orders, we couldn't confirm our venue until early October. And it's also a difficult time to ask our local businesses for donations and sponsorships at a time when we're trying to re-establish economically after a turbulent 12 to 18 months. And it's also been a difficult time to ask more of the families at the Children's Centre that have shown us so much support during the pandemic to give more of their time to volunteering right now. So I project in future years we'll have the opportunity to be more prepared to maximise our sponsorship opportunities and other income revenues. Next slide. So the objectives of the event. Number one, to raise funds for the Pemberton Children's Centre, but also connect the local community with our vendors. Also to give these vendors an avenue to sell their products and promote themselves, engage directly with their consumers. And to bring the people of Pemberton and surrounding communities together, allow them an opportunity to shop local, support local, and to celebrate the holiday season. Next slide, please. Deliverables include raising funds for the Pemberton Children's Centre to replace outdoor play equipment that was recently taken down, to host a popular community event at a well-attended venue, allowing vendors to sell their products, and a social holiday event for the community to come together safely and celebrate and shop locally. Next slide, please. If our application is successful, the SLRD and Village Pemberton would be acknowledged and thanked through signage at the event, in our communications and marketing, on the Pemberton Children's Centre website, and through the daycare's social media channels, but also on the Pemberton Christmas Bazaar website and its social channels too. Next slide, please. During these times, it's really important when organising in-person events to do it safely. So our priority is to host a fun community event while keeping everyone safe and being in compliance with the current public health orders and enforcing our communicable disease prevention plan, which will include proof of vaccination for everyone in attendance, mandatory mask wearing, monitoring the entrances and numbers in attendance, providing hand sanitizing stations and masks, because we understand that wonderful events like this are only possible through compliance and through prioritising safety during these times. Next slide, please. So thank you for the opportunity to present our application today, and thank you for considering our application. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the committee or from staff?
No, I just would like to say it's a very wonderful organization and well needed in this community, and it could probably be twice its size, but for the need. So good job.
Thank you. I agree.
Thank you, Director Kennett. Director Mack, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I just think this is a wonderful event, and that we should definitely be supporting it. Thanks.
I agree.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate the presentation, and I agree with both our directors that I would definitely support this. So in that vein, I'll be looking for a motion to support the request of $3,200.
I'll move that.
And
I'll move that.
oh, hold on. Kristen, you had, or Ms. Clark, you had a question or a point?
Hey, sir, sorry, I'm just not sure if we moved in, have we moved right into 8.5? And would you like staff to speak to that at all, or do you want to go right into that?
I believe this is what we're on, is 8.5. If staff has anything to comment on, then by all means. Philippa, or Ms. Campbell, sorry.
Just briefly, Chair, the 8.5 is just the supporting materials that was submitted by the Pemberton Childcare Society. This is their application. It came through the SLID website. It's just been collected together for the committee to review there, and obviously related to the presentation you just seen. So it was just pulled together into one package for you. So happy to answer any questions. The brief cover report does note that there is sufficient funding in the stream that this request is suggested to come out of, which is the arts, culture and recreation stream. And so it's up to the committee as to whether they decide to support. Thank you.
Correct. Thank you, staff. In saying that, I believe Director Mack had made the motion to support the one-time funding for $3,200 or $3,212.58. Is there a seconder? Ms. Kennett, call the question. All opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Clark, did I miss anything there? No, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much to the committee for that. I'm sure that'll keep the Pemberton Children's Society very, very happy. It's nice to support those guys. They do a lot for communities aside from looking after all of our kids. But I agree with Ms. Kennett too. That organization could be double the size and they'd still have a waiting list. So I look forward to hearing back from them when they are when the bazaar is finished. So if I'm not mistaken, we covered everything else on section 8. So we'll be moving to section 9. Is that correct, Ms. Clark?
No, we finished 9. We just have item 12 left, which is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, please. Ordered by Director Mack and second by Director Kennett. Call the question. All opposed? We're adjourned.